is called negative emotion. And what are negative emotions? Negative emotions are unresolved experiences or painful experiences or emotional experiences that we've had in our life. And because of they're unresolved, that they over time they grow in intensity until they begin to interrupt with your life. And ultimately they start interrupting and preventing you from becoming like Jesus. What kind of negative emotion? Well, negative emotion can be unresolved anger. Or it could be sadness that you have deep inside. It could be fear. Or it could be hurt. Or it could be guilt. And what happens? When you encounter similar circumstances in the present, it triggers those uncomfortable emotions. And because these feelings are unresolved, similar situations in your life or our lives tend to pile up on top of these emotions and escalate our feelings to inappropriate levels, which leads to things like road rage. How about relationship baggage or relationship issues? Or how about excessive fears or dislikes, like fear of sharing our faith, fear of being open about our sins and temptations because we're afraid of what we're going to look like? Imagine, this is what it's sort of like. You know, you try to pursue something you want, like a strong spiritual life, but as you do, you hit a wall. Wham! In other words, let's say you have to share your faith, but all of a sudden all these feelings of rejection from the past come up, and wham, you can't do it. So you go a different direction. And then wham, you hit another wall. Maybe you have a conflict with another Christian. Oh, and that brings up feelings of previous conflicts you had in your life. And so you go another direction. And wham! You know, maybe you need to sacrifice for a missions contribution or something, and that brings up feelings you have about money. So you go a different direction, and wham! You have to confront somebody who wronged you in the church. Oh, but that's just too hard because it brings up feelings of your family or other things. And then wham, and then wham, and then wham, and then wham. What happens? As we consistently keep on going, we run into situations that bring up negative emotions inside of us. And what do you think we end up building for ourselves? That's right. It's an invisible cage. I mean, have you ever felt like you're working really hard to do something, but no matter how hard you try, you keep hitting a wall? And it's probably because of something called negative emotion. And how do you know it's negative emotion? Well, you know how when you try to do something, you get that really yucky feeling inside every time you think about or have to do that thing you don't want to do? That right there is negative emotion. So if you want to be spiritual, you have to eliminate any unresolved negative emotion that's living inside of you. In other words, eliminating the past negative emotions that are associated with what you want. Like if you want to be righteous, but you associate some negative emotion because of some previous experience, it's going to prevent you from being righteous. If you have been hurt by an authority figure in your life, and you don't resolve it, or you didn't resolve it, how do you think it'll help you feel about other authority figures, like your minister or your, other people, maybe in the church or outside of the church, your boss? Or if you've been hurt by gossip or slander in your life, and you don't resolve it, how will you feel if others in the future do it also, or seem like they're doing it? Or if you've been put down, disrespected, manipulated, neglected, not considered in your life, but you don't resolve it, how will you feel when it happens again? Negative emotion will keep us in an invisible cage that will plague us for the rest of our life, and may even cause us to sacrifice our relationship with God until we break free from it.